Hello guys and welcome back to our channel Barca Admirers for your daily coverage of all the latest news updates and transfers roundup related to Barcelona. In today's episode, Ronald Koeman's future at Barca is no longer under scrutiny as it's now confirmed that he will be removed. It's not a question of if, it's more a question of when, and I have covered all the reports about all the possible replacements involved. Meanwhile, the dressing room continues to stand by the manager. On the other hand, youngster Gavi has been called up to the Spanish national team, while a former Barca player drops a major hint about the club's necessity to kick out the deadwood players, as a new winger is being monitored by the club as a potential transfer target, along with many more such updates. So make sure to watch this video till the very end without skipping over any part. We start off today's news roundup with a rather interesting piece of statistic is compiled by Opta Jose. It states that in the history of the UEFA Champions League, only 12 of the 140 teams to start the group stage with consecutive defeats have qualified for the next round, and none of them was Spanish. The last side to do so were Atalanta in 2019-2020. Right now, Barca may be looking at a group stage exit. In fact, as per the statistical records of UEFA, so far, Barca have managed no shots on target in the Champions League in 2 games, and the last 2 goals for the club in the competition are still from Lionel Messi. Despite the humiliation against Benfica, journalist Yelena Condes reports that President Laporta will not make any hard decisions. The president has gone down to the dressing room to show his support for the squad. There will be a series of meetings and everything will be valued. Speaking in the post-match press conference, manager Ronald Koeman said that for any coach it is difficult to be at Barca if he does not win 2 Champions League games consecutively. It is a delicate situation and he understands it perfectly. He, however, has to be given time. He feels supported by his players and the attitude. By the others, he does not know. Just like the Dutchman said, his players still do support him. Frankie Di Zhang, speaking in the post-match interview, said that the solution right now is not to change the coach. Speaking about himself, the midfielder said that he accepts criticism but he disagrees when people say that he does not work hard enough. He thinks that his statistics were good last season, especially considering the number of games he had to play as a central defender. Even captain Sergi Busquets supported manager Ronald Koeman. He said that in the world of football, the easy thing is to sack the coach. However, they all have their share of responsibility. They are in a critical situation and that is the ultimate truth. However, Catalan news publication RECE reports that it is not ruled out that Koeman will still be the Barca manager during the game in this weekend, and that decisions will be made from there. Even top-tier journalist Mate Moreto confirms that Koeman will be at the club for at least a week. The club has already begun its work to bring in Xavi and Roberto Martinez, who are still the clear favourites. Kicking the Dutchman would cost the club around 12 million euros. Reporting on the situation, journalist Gerard Romero states that the relationship between Joan Laporta and Ronald Koeman right now is absolutely non-existent. The president was surprised by the lineup he played against Benfica. Even Spanish publication Sport reports that Laporta was absolutely furious when he saw Koeman's lineup. He burst out at the box in the lose. He could not understand the change in the system as he expected a 4-3-3. He did not understand why Nico and Gavi were dropped. As far as the replacement options are concerned, top-tier journalist Eduardo Polo reports that President Laporta knows that Xavi Hernandez is the coach. He generates the most consensus within the club, the dressing room and the fans. He also knows that Xavi would be willing to take on the challenge. ESPN reports that Xavi is the favourite but not the only option right now. As per the report of journalist Elwood White, although there have been contacts between people close to the parties, Xavi expects to receive a direct call from the president. Laporta no longer hesitates as he once did and realizes that he is the name with the most support among the fans. Spanish journalist Adrián Sánchez reports that Xavi Hernandez wants a long-term project and support from the entire board for him to come to Barca. Journalist Edu Polo reports that besides Xavi, Laporta also thinks of Andrea Pirlo with the idea of inventing another Rijkaard, although the reports of his year at Juventus are not good at all. Spanish news outlet Torquemada even went a step further and suggested that Pirlo may be President Laporta's favorite option right now. Meanwhile, ever-reliable transfer insider Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Marcelo Gallardo and Andrea Pirlo would both be open to the managerial job at Barca. In fact, Argentine news outlet Diario Ole reports that Gallardo was just hours away from being the coach of Barca at the beginning of 2020 after the dismissal of Ernesto Valverde. As of right now, Marcelo Gallardo's involvement informs that there has been no contacts from Barcelona to Gallardo yet. However, a call in the coming few hours is not ruled out. However, Gerard Romero reports that Gallardo told the club that he could not come to Barcelona about 10 days ago. Right now, his stand may have shifted. Giving somewhat of a summary of the managerial situation, journalist Todd Costa reports that Roberto Martinez, Marcelo Gallardo and Andrea Pirlo are all ahead of Xavi Hernandez at the moment. Xavi is not left out, however, and has fewer options to sit on the Barca bench as compared to the others. Interestingly, according to the report of top-tier journalist Benayad Ashraf, Miralem Pjanic, former Barcelona player, has liked a post on Instagram suggesting that it is game over for Ronald Koeman at Barca. Understandably, Pjanic is not the only former Barca player to have lashed out at Koeman. Luis Suarez said that Koeman would send him to train alone as if he were 15 years old. It hurt him and it bothered him, and he came home crying out of contempt. It was a mix because the president was reporting and filtering that Suarez was bad for the dressing room. Speaking in his most recent interview, Suarez also commented on Xavi Hernandez's situation. He said that he would recommend Xavi to wait. This is not the ideal time to get to the club. He is smart and he has to wait for the perfect moment. There are players he has played with and it will be difficult to make tough but necessary decisions about them. He clearly hinted that the likes of several senior players such as Piqué and Sergi Roberto need to be kicked out, and if required, against their will, because these players are absolute shit at the moment. Moving on to the next news update, we have some great news as Gavi has now been officially called up by Spain for their upcoming games in the Nations League. A massive congratulations to the 17-year-old on this huge achievement. Eric Garcia, Pedri and Busquets have also been called up. Speaking about Pedri Gonzalez, we have official confirmation that Pedri has now won the Aldo Rovira Award for being the best Barca player for the 2020-2021 season. A hearty congratulations from our end to the youngster. Spanish national team manager and former Barca coach Luis Enrique praised Gavi in the press conference. He said that when we see Gavi at this level, we're surprised by his performance. He has known him from a long time. He has no doubts about the performance he will give in the future. He is a pure interior midfielder and he is absolutely suited for Barcelona. On being questioned why Ansu Fati was left out of the squad, Enrique said that we have to put his whole situation in context, and right now he thinks that the best thing for him is to be calmly at his club. His call-up will come later on. The manager, however, shut down all the rumors linking him to Barcelona. He said that he thinks Joan Laporta does not even have his phone number and he is not leaving the Spanish national team right now. He has a contract over there as they wanted him and he will respect it. Going to the next one, journalist CK Rodriguez reports that Barca will soon implement a new position at the club called the High Performance Director. Laporta considers that the current training sessions need to be modernized. This position is separate to the manager role and will be key in the sports structure development. Going to the next news update, we have the comments of the corporate general director of La Liga, Jose Guerra. He said that there were solutions for Messi to stay at Barca. It was the club that decided to allocate the available resources one way or another. He does not know if it was just a financial issue. For the next one, we have some great news. A Spanish news publication AR Sports reports that the renewal of Sergi Roberto is not going well as it seemed a few days ago. However, both parties are confident of reaching an agreement as soon as possible and do not consider, for now, extreme scenarios such as listening to other offers in January. Up next, we have the comments of newly signed Barca midfielder Emre Demir. Speaking in his most recent interview with Sport, Demir said that when he signed for Barca, he did not know much about it until the day it happened. He had indescribable feelings. His agent, Ahmed Bulut, did not tell him what was going on. He called him one day and said that they were going to Istanbul and he was going to sign for a big club. Since he was not old enough to sign a contract, his parents came with him too. Then he saw the name Barcelona on the contract and his parents could not contain their tears of joy. For the next one, we have some bad news as Diario AS reports that Alejandro Balde's recovery is not going as expected. The conservative treatment does not work to solve the back pain that he has been suffering from since August, and the player has now undergone a non-invasive surgical technique. He will not be back until after the international break. With all of that, we conclude today's news roundup. Now moving on to the transfer section. For the first one today, Mundo Deportivo reports that Francisco Trincao is having a very productive loan at Wolverhampton and is an undisputed starter already. The winger is being able to demonstrate his talent and ability with dribbling, one of his great virtues, and against Manchester United, he was a nightmare for the rival defense. He may soon be on his way out of the club permanently. For the next transfer update, Madrid-based news publication Marca reports that Barcelona might be going through a rough patch on and off the pitch, but Joan Laporta is still working behind the scenes on possible reinforcements for future transfer windows, with Porto winger Luis Diaz being the latest name to be shortlisted by the president. According to the report of yet another Spanish newspaper El Nacional, Luis Diaz is on Joan Laporta's list of works for the upcoming summer transfer market. The club believes that he could become Coutinho's replacement. He could leave Porto for about 30 million euros. For the next transfer update, Spanish publication Sport reports that Barcelona are attentive to Andre Onana's situation with Ajax. The Dutch club will not renew the former La Masia goalkeeper's contract and therefore he will be a free agent next summer. That's all the news we could collect for you today. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon, select all and enable all the YouTube app notifications. We have always been overly impressed by your response to our videos. So in this episode, we have decided to set a target of 550 likes. Please Qlers, help us reach our target on this episode as well. Now that's all we have for today's episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Visca el Barça, Visca el Catalunya.